Okay, I'm Corey Pinkston.
I'm Amber Smith.
I'm Soraya Shepard.
Okay. So on the questions this week, I'm going to kind of start in the middle because I kind of wanted to talk about the talks first that we read. Let me find it. Okay, so which of the readings did you side with more and why? And that's the readings that were for specifically the Will of Women and Mothers.
The 3 talks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really loved Sister Beck's talk. I think it was just short and to the point, and with the rebuttal talk, I guess, I feel like with most church talks, the point is to teach us truth and to aim for perfection. And so I don't think that anything she said was not achievable. Like the people were saying that it was conflicting with the studies or with what they've seen and experienced. But I think that that's the point of church leaders, is to share things with us that we should strive for, not necessarily things that are happening, but things that we should work towards on becoming. And so with her talk on motherhood, she was reminding us of the type of mothers and women that we should be, not necessarily saying this is how it is right now. And so I thought that I guess I agree more with her talk than what was the other one called? It was
This is what women know.
yeah. So I don't know. I just think that they tried a little too hard to bring in the world and counter argue what she was saying, but that's just my opinion.
So I actually so after I read Julie B. Beck's talk, and my initial reaction, to be totally honest with you, was like she kind of made me feel bad. Like honestly, and I think that I come from because I'm a single mom, and there's a lot of things that I just can't do. And there's a lot, like, because I'm busy. I work and I'm in school full time, and I live at home with my parents, and my situation's just so incredibly like not normal. And I think, like, yeah, she's speaking about the ideal, and I think that's great. But I actually, in the end, I agree more with her talk because she did speak doctrine. But I will say that she went about it really poorly. I don't think that she did it right at all. I think that I can see why the What Women Know, that article, I can see why they said what they said. And some of the stuff they said was ridiculous. Like, I can't even, with the whole like stripling warrior thing, like that actually like got me fired up a little bit. I was like, okay, you guys clearly don't understand the point of the story. They were never saying it was okay to kill other children. Like, that wasn't the point. It was like, you guys are missing the whole story. Like, you don't have, that one bothered me. But I do understand why Julie B. Beck's talk made them feel the way that it did, because that's how I felt. When I was done reading the talk, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm the worst mom ever. Like, I can't do hardly any of those things. And guess what? Some days my kid watches way too much TV because I need to get so much stuff done, or like, I'm sick right now, and like, I'm sick and I'm trying to do all this stuff. Like, yeah, sorry, he's gonna watch extra TV. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe Julie B. Beck just tried to bring too many expectations. Like, you need to be doing this and this and this, and this makes you the perfect mom. And in my mind, that's not the best way to go about it. And so I thought what I loved, though, was Elder Christofferson's talk, because I feel like he said what Julie B. Beck meant to say, only he worded it in such a way that like made you feel empowered and made you feel like you could do it. And he made sure to say, like, hey, we know that not all of your situations are ideal, and hey, we know that men have responsibility as well. And I feel like he was very careful and made sure that he said all those things so that his talk couldn't be attacked, pretty much. I mean, where Julie B. Beck kind of a little bit left herself open, because that was it was rough. I just thought it was rough. I don't think she thought that through or something. I don't know. I had a hard time with it.
I kind of read both of the talks, and my own family is a different in a really as well. I come from a single parent household, so it's like, in the ideal would be perfect, but I kind of like her talk because, like you said, she talked truth, just didn't exactly go about it the best way possible to help us actually feel empowered.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys said that because there was one thing that she said that um, I don't remember exactly what it was. It was something like, and this is what the perfect LDS mother should be like. And I'm the same way. Like I fall short on so many things that she said, and I don't even know if I'll ever get there. But I think that if we um, try to take it as a goal, and it's not gonna we probably won't ever make it, but if we try to do it a little bit at a time, I think that it can um, just be a good reminder of what we can strive to achieve. But yeah, I thought that Elder Christofferson talk was the best. He he just was so loving and understanding, and I love that he pointed out that we're never going to be perfect, and so that's okay. And I think that was the perfect ending to the readings. Like, here's perfection and here's the counter argument, but it's okay if you fall short because you're still doing a good job.
I agree. Those talks were interesting. But okay, so the next question regarding the same subject is, what do you think the tone and the intent of the What Women Know article was?
Um, I don't I don't know. I kind of had to read it 2 times to the first time I was, I guess I just took it as like, oh, they're kind of tearing apart her talk and trying to say everything that they disagree with it. But then they're just trying to be more informative, I think, just trying to help people understand, like you were saying, that you took it as um, kind of an attack because she was a little too forward. Um, and so I think that they were just trying to tone it down and make other women feel better, not so much as attacking as I took it the first time. So I think that although I don't disagree with everything that they said, they were trying to be helpful.
I think that I think I felt like the tone of Julie B. Beck's talk was like, you have to be perfect, and this is how you reach perfection. And I think that one of the reasons that bothered me was because her definition of what is the perfect mother and what the perfect, like, isn't necessarily everybody's perfect. And I think that that's what bothered me, because it's like I don't know, and it's hard because when you listen to leaders speak to you, like, you take that as like gospel and it's doctrine, and you feel like, and so when someone says this and this is what you need to be doing and this is how you should be doing it, like, she was giving very specific things, like, you should clean with your child and make sure that they're cleaning by you and that they are learning, things like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, it's not fair to say that this is exactly how you need to be a mom. And so I think that the What Women Know talk took that and got offended and hurt, and they just reacted instead of maybe looking at Julie B. Beck's intent and the truths that she was speaking in her talk. Because I like the first few bullet points on the What Women Know are that webpage. I actually agreed with like the first few, very much so. And then as it got further down, I started to go, okay, now you're pushing it. Like, now you're not right. But I did agree with a lot of it. And so I think that their intent was really, I don't think it was to attack Julie B. Beck, but I think it was to say, hey, moms, like, it's okay. You're not failing. And this talk hurt. And this is how we're reacting. And So I don't know. I kind of get it. I don't think their intent was to like tear Julie B. Beck apart. I think it was just to say, hey, like that's not cool. Don't tell us that we have to be perfect because that's so much pressure and that's not what the gospel means for us to feel. It doesn't want us to feel like we're failing.
Sorry, I lost my mouse for a moment. I couldn't unmute my microphone. I thought the interesting thing was is that, well, like you both have said, it once you read both of them, you kind of have to read them kind of multiple times to understand that it's kind of a cause and effect. Sister Beck probably was trying her best to do her best to inform us, this is just kind of how the ideal is supposed to be. And I think she just kind of needed it to be, I think she needed to be a little bit more understanding that not everybody can live the ideal. It's just not possible sometimes in some experiences. And people just reacted to that without understanding that, hey, maybe she just meant that that's what it's supposed to be, but not necessarily that it's going to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. So the next question then, which I guess we kind of talked a little bit, but we can, if you guys have more. So did you see any of these philosophies of men mingled with doctrine? And if so, where?
I'm trying to pull them up. I think that with Sister Beck's talk, she tried so hard to use doctrine, but she kind of threw in her own examples, like you were saying, that she used her view of perfection with doctrine, and it came out to be like, this is how everybody should view perfection or view motherhood. And so I think that she probably didn't intend for there to be some worldly doctrine in there, but it ended up in there. It's just surprising to me because I just think back on other general conference talks, and I don't feel like I have felt the same way as I did about her talk. So I'm kind of, and I think that their talks are reviewed. So my guess, or I'm just wondering, like, if it was reviewed and got passed on, like, was there a different intention? But so I think that hers, even though she tried so hard to teach true doctrine, there was some in there. And then also with the what women know, they took what they've experienced and seen in the world and tried to apply it to what she was saying. And so I think both of those do. But with Elder Christofferson's talk, I think that he was so understanding and loving that he just focused on the doctrine, and I don't know if I think that he brought in any into his.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. And I think that, and I think that in the What Women Know talk, or the rebuttal, I guess, that I think that they had a lot of, other things mixed in. And I don't think that I don't really think their intent was to bring in doctrine necessarily. I don't think that they were even trying. So I don't know that it's hard to even say with that one, because I think that they were mingling the ideas of men in there the whole time. But also some of it were really valid points. And like you said, I think one of the biggest issues is because Julie B. Beck brought so much ideas from the world into it. And I don't think that it's because she didn't bring it. It's so hard because she didn't bring it in like in a way of like trying to make us be like of the world. That's not what she was doing. Like she wasn't trying to make us be worldly, but she was also, and I even like just the title of her talk being Mothers Who Know, and then to go throughout that whole thing saying mothers who know do this and this and this, and mothers who know do that and that and that. And so at the end, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, so I guess I don't know. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, oh, okay, thanks. So I don't know. It's just hard. And like you said, going through the process of others who review it, and it just goes to show that people aren't perfect, and I'm sure that, I don't know, you read that talk as someone, like, let's say a male read that talk who, it to him, like, yeah, those are awesome, good things to strive for, and they're great things. Like, if I could be super mom like that, like, all for it. That's amazing. But so it's hard because they are good things. She wasn't saying bad things, and so I think that's probably how it would get passed through, is because they sound like good things. It's not like she was being wrong. And also that talk, it's interesting because that talk was given in 2007. And Elder Christofferson's was given in 2013. And to me, that shift from then to just that few short years, I'm like, wow, like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like they've been so much more understanding of women through the last several years, and all the hardships and the different situations that we're all in, and being more understanding of it's okay if you're not perfect. Because I think they've realized over time that we need to be told that we're doing okay, that we can't be perfect, that we're going to falter. And I think that's why I loved Elder Christofferson's talk so much, because he was like, yeah, you want to strive for these things. You want to do the best you can. And, like, where's this? I have one of his quotes that I wrote down, if I can find it. Like, women bring with them into the world a certain virtue, a divine gift that makes them adept at instilling such qualities as faith, courage, empathy, and refinement in relationships and in cultures. So his way of saying it was like, you guys have these abilities inside of you, find them, like, and go for it. And whereas Julie B. Beck was so like straightforward with like, if you're a mother who knows, you should be cleaning with your child. If you're a mother who knows, your child never watches TV, things like that. And she used the word the perfect mother, and it's just poor wording. I kind of feel bad for her because I don't think that was her intent. I really don't.
Yeah, I think that it would have been a lot better if she had said that we can strive to be the perfect mother by helping our children clean with us, and not come so straightforward and saying the perfect mother is this. Because, I mean, we've said this over and over again, but we're all different and we have different circumstances. And so it's just not going to happen in some homes, and that's okay.
Sorry, it's kind of hard for me to think and write at the same time. I kind of just agree with you guys. Kind of touched on everything that kind of I would have said. And I mean, I think her wording was kind of bad. I know she probably had like really, really good intentions and everything, but just kind of the way she worded things just kind of made everybody who wasn't that ideal just not feel good. And that's not the whole point of the church, is not to make you feel like, because there's not really any way you can become the ideal, that you're like the worst thing ever. So, and having, I think, seen the different talks and seen how things have shifted over the years, it kind of brings to understanding that the brethren and the people who are in charge of the church, they understand that we're not ideal, we're not perfect. And somewhere in the scriptures it says that perfection cannot be achieved in this life. So just having them to acknowledge that it's okay if you're not ideal. It's okay not to be perfect. It makes kind of us feel better.
So this is like kind of a random thought that I was having when I was just thinking about our role as women. And I really loved, and maybe this is obvious to you guys, but for me, it like brought out a different perspective, I guess. So, and I don't remember where in the reading this was, but it was that women are given God's power to create life. And there was something about that for me where it, like, we weren't just given the ability to create life, we were given God's power to create life. And to me, it's like men are given God's power to hold the priesthood, and we're given God's power to create life. Like, I mean, like to like, you know, like we do that. Like our bodies are meant to literally like form this human inside of us. And I think that's pretty incredible. And yeah, men help create that life, but like our bodies are what were created to make that happen. And I think that's pretty incredible. And I think we often talk about how, like I've said it, even like I'm okay with not having the priesthood because that's a lot of responsibility and that's a lot of like power that I'm okay with not holding. And but then at the same time, if you think about it, like the power that we have to create this little human inside of us is just as incredible and just as powerful, if not more in many instances. And I don't know, it gave me a new perspective. And I feel like we can all work harder to hold that power. And especially when you think about how worldly things like sex outside of marriage and just, you know, it being no big deal and abortions and things like that, where that power and that gift that God has given to us is being used so differently than it was ever intended. It just gave me a new perspective to call it God's power. Okay. Do you, let's just do, I guess we don't really have that much time left, do we? Do you guys, I don't know how long we're supposed to go for. I'm really bad at this.
Usually I think we just do 30, 35 minutes, but
Okay.
I'm okay if it's short today. I don't feel good either.
Nope, me neither. I feel
And like right after break, I got so sick.
I got sick Saturday and it's just been like an ongoing, yeah, it's been great. All right, well, if you're ready, I'm ready to do the summary. Because if we go off on like, that was like, the questions were brought into two sections and I decided I kind of wanted to talk more about the talks than I did the voting thing. So if you guys want to, we can go into that. But if you're okay, let's do the summary.
We can do the summary.
Okay.
I should warn you that I am terrible at
Go when
summaries.
you're ready.
Okay, so talks are to teach us perfection. The point of the church leaders is to teach us what we are to become, not exactly what we are now. What women know, the talk, What Women Know, might have tried a little too hard to bring up the worldly view. The ideal is great, but needed to go about a different way. Sister Beck was more about truth and needed to be kind of conveyed differently in her talk. Elder Christofferson made you feel empowered and help people understand that people have different circumstances. We can try for ideal, but it can't always be achieved. Elder Christofferson's talk made us feel like even though we fall short, it is okay because no one is perfect. The What Women Know seemed like they were not exactly attacking, but they were more informative and trying to help women who don't live the ideal and make them understand that it's okay. Their message was more of, okay, we can't be perfect. Ideal is great, but not always achievable. Sister Beck used her view of perfection and doctrine, but intended with kind of mixed in with worldly doctrines. Both articles took their experiences to write what they know and write what they saw. Elder Christofferson's talk was more founded on just the doctrine. Sister Beck brought in worldly views, but in a way that if a man reading the talk would be like, oh, these are great talks, these are great points and everything. And they are good points. Over the years, the doctrine has shifted to understanding that we can't be perfect and that we need to be told that we are doing okay, and it's okay not to be perfect. Sister Beck kind of used some poor words in her talk, which caused mothers to feel like they were not good enough. We don't have to be perfect, and women are given God's power to create life. We are meant to, and it is incredible. Our gift is sacred. Kind of all I got.